Laborious Lovers. Today by
Diana Campisi, Miguel Torres, and Yaya Laraki.
Sometimes we ask ourselves if doing a lab is a good idea. Is the time going to worth it? How I am going to manage the workload? A lab is going to be useful at the time to get a job? These questions and more are the ones that our laborious lovers who are already successfully working are going to answer.
In this episode 0, we will be learning more about Lucía Naveiro, IE alumni and former member of its Communications Lab, graduating in the class of 2020. Originally from Cádiz, Lucía is a determined, focused, and proactive student who has gone on to work with Teatro Real in several capacities, such as digital marketing, social media, and advertising. How are you, Lucía?
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to have you here. So we have a few questions for you. And the first one would be, before joining IE, did you know anything about the labs?
Actually, yes. Before I was applying to IE, I was kind of researching a bit of all the extra activities that were held at IE, and I saw the labs, and it actually caught my attention because before they had a project with Teatro Real.
Okay.
And it was something that at that moment it was interesting, and I thought it was also original, the idea of having an extra month to work on kind of professional project and be together with people from the degree and from other degrees. So I actually knew a little bit, but then when I got to IE, I got a bit more informed about it, and since the moment that they explained it to us, I decided to join.
It is definitely an amazing resource. And I also wanted to ask you, what attracted you to join specifically the Communications Lab out of all the labs?
Mainly because it was very related to my career. And also, I've always been interested in many areas of communication. And when I started studying the degree, I wasn't really sure on which path to take specifically. And the IE labs very focused on the audiovisual production part, and that's also a thing that always caught my attention. So I wanted to try and to dedicate a bit more time to realize if it was what I wanted to do in the future or something related.
Yeah, absolutely. But, joining an IE lab is definitely, you already have all the subjects. So it definitely increases your workload when you join a lab. What was the most difficult part from the labs?
Well, I think that first year we learned to work with Premiere, and although you kind of learn on the way, and the more you practice, the more you get used to it, it was a bit challenging at first to use it properly, and not only to use it, but also to have the aesthetic eye that you need in order to produce a good quality video content. So that was a challenge, the technical part, but also it was also a challenge the fact that we were gonna work with real clients for the first time. I think that when we recently start university, we're sometimes a bit scared or challenged by the idea to go to the real world. And it's a good opportunity that since first year you can learn to work with these people and to put your skills into practice.
Definitely. I think also, even if it increases your workload and it has some challenges, I think the benefits you get can also they outweigh the challenges because of how good they are.
Yeah, of course, in the end, you have a lot of challenges, but you also learn to overcome them. And in the end, that's the point of joining these kind of projects, and also this university in particular, which is so professionally oriented.
Of course. Now, talking about the benefits, what is your favorite project from your time there and why?
Well, I think that it was kind of the biggest project, but I think my favorite one was Cervezas and Frutos, because it was not only a beautiful project to make because it was super visual and it was a very cool brand, but also because, after all, it's a product that we all consume in our daily lives, and most of us, and it was really fun to actually go to the factory and learn the process and to be able to get all that information and then communicate it and translate it into a visual language. And we had a lot of fun working with company, and we had a lot of fun together working as a team, preparing this very fun project and about this very fun product. So I think when we finally saw the result and we saw all the effort that we put and how nicely it came out, I think we all felt very satisfied and very happy with the effort and the time we spent.
It's definitely a unique experience. I think it's nothing like you have ever seen in any other college or even in school. So it makes you think, why would you recommend current students to join the lab? Any lab, doesn't have to be communications.
Well, I think that it's a very good opportunity that IE is giving you to have a first professional experience. And it's very good to lose the fear of working. And it's very good to also to put into practice everything that you learn, because I really think that although IE is true that it's very oriented towards the real world, I think that until you don't actually do projects or work in a place, you don't really understand everything and put everything together, everything that you learn. So I think that it's a very good opportunity. And besides, it's in June, it's in summer, and it's a very nice time to get to know your colleagues and get to know people from maybe from other degrees that usually wouldn't meet because you don't do the same classes as them, but also to get closer to the people that you're working with. I remember in first year when we did the labs, we were a small group of the communications class, and we became super good friends, and we spent super nice time not only working on the projects but also doing things on our houses. We used to organize dinners and a lot of events. It's a really fun experience.
Yeah, I gotta say, your speech was very motivational. If I listen to it, I'll be like, I have to do this lab. But whatever, since we talked previously, I want to highlight a point that is all the professional opportunity that it can open. Because you've told me that, well, now you work in Teatro Real after you got your internship there. But to get your internship, you showed all your personal achievements in the lab. So how useful was the lab, and the personal achievements you did in the lab help you get in the internship for the company you work in now?
Well, I think that the fact that you have the opportunity to participate in a big project, in our case, it was Cervezas and Frutos, is very good for your portfolio, because it's not only the fact that you worked on something and you managed it, because we were organizing the interviews, preparing the questions, and a lot of things that you're going to use in your professional life in the future, but also you have a visual project to show. You actually go to the company and you say, I did this with this team of people. So it was a very nice thing to have in your CV when applying to a company so young. As I mentioned, you can do little internships during the time there, but it's true that these kind of projects are the ones that are also show that you worked in a professional environment, but also that you got very involved with the university. And I think that that's very important for employers to see that you are someone who likes to take challenges and who likes to not only focus on the classwork, but also on extra things and extra projects, and will enhance your skills.
I completely agree. I couldn't have said it better, actually. Also, the skills that you learn are super important too, and can be very helpful, because as you told us, you work in the department charged of the streaming platform. So you have to produce, edit, promote, and so on. And these are skills that are, for example, learned in the communication lab. So how important were the skills given by the lab while working for Teatro Real?
Well, my internship started at the advertising department. So it was more of social media and everything on paid media as well, also related to the radio. So everything that we did in the lab, because apart from this project of Cervezas and Frutos, we also did communication plans for Tanaka Lab, which was another art studio. All these skills on how to build a communication plan, but especially how to deal with clients and how to build a relationship with the person you're working with, were very useful. And now that I moved to audiovisual production department on the streaming platform, my Opera Player, I'm also working a lot with video, revising, supervising a lot of videos and a lot of, all the video content creation and all those things. I kind of learned them at the communications lab when we learn how to compose a video, how to do it properly in terms of aesthetics and in terms of storytelling and all the, basically all the story that you're telling in 2 minutes. So those were very important skills that I'm actually applying right now and proving, but I feel that they all started at the communications lab.
Yeah, we got it perfectly. I gotta say the lab, as you describe it now, is something very useful and helps a lot. Well, a last question that interests us a lot, because most of students that have been through the lab and students like you are very ambitious. We're interested in knowing what would be your next step in your professional career after Teatro Real.
Well, right now I'm hired at Teatro Real, so I would like to stay I'm staying for some time and I hope that I can stay even for more time. But in the future, I would love to have an international experience, especially in France. I really like France and I would like to spend there some time of my life. But actually, I would also like to continue maybe in the arts because I feel that I'm a musician since I was a child and I've been very involved with the arts as well. I am also a creative writer and I feel that in the future I would like to orient my communications career towards the arts because it's my passion and it's something that I enjoy a lot and that I feel that I can add a lot because I also have personal experience with it. And that's actually something that I will recommend to people graduating or people who are still wondering what they're going to do afterwards. I think that it's important to find what is your real passion, and I will even recommend it to make it your specialization. Because in the end, it's something that makes you different. It's something that you enjoy. I mean, after all, when it comes to the professional world, the more you enjoy what you're doing, the happier you're going to be. So that's something that I'm going to try to do for all my life. And I recommend to anyone.
For sure. Well, we wish you the best of luck. And since we all like to have fun, we would like to play a little game to close this interview. It's going to be a quiz, a question. But I'm worried you won't have any problems giving us the correct answer because you showed so much good knowledge. So about IE and the labs. My question would be, how many students does IE have? 6,500, 9,000, 7,000, or 8,000?
Tricky. I would say 8,000.
I'm sorry. No, it was 7,000.
Okay. Almost.
I tried your chance. Yeah, you were almost there.
It was a difficult question anyways, so you shouldn't worry about getting it wrong. I think this was a great interview, Lucia. Thank you so much for your time. We don't want to take any more of it, but before going away, we would like to ask you if you had one tip for any IE prospect student.
Well, I will say never underestimate the importance of everything that you're doing in each step of the way. If now you're involved in this project, or for example, in the labs, take advantage of it, use your time wisely, and then every new project or every new subject, every new teacher that you meet, even every new person, try to learn from them because you never know who you're gonna talk with, you never know what you're gonna learn. And I will say use your 4 years or 5 years of studying at IE as an opportunity to meet all the people that you can and to learn, because after all, we're all here to learn. And I think that you're gonna learn the rest of your life, and IE is a great place where so many interesting people from all the sectors and people our age of all kinds of interests are going to be useful in order to orient your personal and professional life.
Wise advice. Everyone should take it to heart, even us, I think. Thank you so much, Lucia.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, Lucia.
Thank you. Bye and good luck.